Today, we're diving into something pretty wild, a new AI from Microsoft called VibeVoice. And honestly, it might just change everything we think we know about audio. So, let's get into it.
I mean, that sounds like something straight out of a movie, right? A full podcast with nobody real? But here's the crazy part. It's not science fiction anymore. This is a huge leap forward for AI voice, maybe one of the biggest we've seen. It could completely flip the script on how we make and even listen to audio.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll get into what makes this AI sound so, well, human. Then we'll check out its key superpowers. After that, we'll talk about why this is such a big deal for creators. And finally, we've got to look at the catches and the big questions that come with it.
All right, so first things first, what exactly is this thing that's got everyone talking?
Okay, so the two magic words here are long-form and conversational. Think about it. This isn't your car's GPS telling you to turn left. Nope, we're talking about an AI that can spit out a complete, natural-sounding conversation just from text. And the kicker? It's open source. That means developers all over the world can get their hands on it and start experimenting.
You might be thinking, hang on, text-to-speech has been around forever. And you're right. So what makes VibeVoice so different? Well, it all comes down to a few, let's call them superpowers that really set it apart.
Okay, first up, stamina. You know how most AI voices start to sound weird and robotic after a couple of minutes? They just can't keep it up. VibeVoice, it can go for 90 minutes straight in one shot. That's enough for a whole movie's worth of dialogue or an entire full-length podcast.
And get this, it's not just one voice droning on. It can juggle up to 4 different speakers in that 90-minute stretch. But the really amazing part is the consistency. Voice number 1 sounds like voice number 1 from the first second to the last minute. Same tone, same accent, it doesn't get confused.
So besides just being able to talk for a long time, it actually sounds, well, expressive. It gets those little pauses, the rhythm, the stuff that makes a conversation feel real. And what's wild is that it does all this without needing some insane supercomputer. Plus, again, it's open source, which basically opens the floodgates for what people will do with it next.
So let's connect the dots here. Why is this such a big deal? Because these aren't just cool tech specs on a sheet of paper. This is a fundamental shift for anyone, and I mean anyone, who makes audio.
Just look at this comparison. It really puts it into perspective. We're going from those old, clunky, robotic voices that could only manage a few seconds to something that sounds natural, can go on for an hour and a half, and keeps all its characters straight. It's not just an upgrade, it's a whole new category.
So what does this actually mean for creators? Well, it means that one person, sitting at their laptop with a good script, could create an entire audiobook with a full cast of characters, or a podcast with multiple hosts. It basically blows the doors open on high-quality audio production, taking away the need for expensive studios and recording sessions.
Okay, but with any tech this powerful, there's always a but. It's not all sunshine and roses. We have to talk about what it can't do, and maybe more importantly, the huge ethical questions this thing raises. So for now, VibeVoice has its limits. It's mainly just English and Chinese. It also can't do overlapping speech, when people interrupt each other. It's just voices too, no background music or sound effects. And Microsoft is being pretty cautious, releasing it mainly for researchers. For now anyway.
And this right here is probably the most important piece of the puzzle. Microsoft knows that this tech could be used for some really bad stuff. Think deepfakes, misinformation, you name it. So they've tried to build in some safety features right from the start.
They've really thought about the specific ways this could go wrong. Worried about deepfake abuse? They're adding audible disclaimers. Worried about someone stealing the audio? They're embedding hidden watermarks to track it. And this is the big one. To stop someone from impersonating you, the system is built to block anyone from cloning a voice unless they have clear permission.
This, of course, leads to the massive question hanging over the entire creative world. Is this the end for voice actors, or is it a brand new tool? Could actors start licensing their AI voice for different projects? Honestly, nobody knows for sure right now.
And that brings us to the biggest question of all. As this tech keeps getting better, and it will, we are hurtling toward a point where you and I might not be able to tell the difference between a real human voice and an AI. So what does that do to our idea of trust, of art? What does it even mean for something to be authentic?